Hello everybody, Spooky Sane Woman here. Thank you for checking out episode something of Seduce the Otome. Last episode, we found out about the boys' history and how they came up to the human world. And we passed out. I rubbed my eyes and sat up, letting a soft groan escape my lips. In response, something beside my bed shuffled, causing me to look over. I didn't know what I was expecting. Beside me, sitting in a chair beside the bed, was Sam, rousing himself up to see me awake. I smiled at him, seeing his slightly ruffled hair and tired eyes.
Oh, you're awake. How do you feel?
Sam nodded before he looked down at the bed, leaning over to stare at the blanket.
I'm such an idiot. If I was stronger, you wouldn't be like this.
Sam, it's not your fault.
No, it's my fault. It's our fault. Look at you. You're in bed again. After us using our powers again. And you're a target again because of us. We never should have come.
I quickly reached over and put a finger on his lips, stopping him from going any further. I didn't want to hear anymore. Sam, it's okay. I wanted to help you out. I offered to let you stay. Nothing is your fault. I gently moved my hand and cupped Sam's cheek, staring at him with concern. I didn't want him to hold guilt in his mind about this whole ordeal. Diana was desperate, and she'd hunt anyone for them. It wasn't his fault she was desperate enough to hunt them down. Sam looked at me, defeated by my hand, before he closed his eyes and let out a sigh. However, I grew curious. So, Sam, you're a noble. Sam opened his eyes to look at me. He didn't seem angry, but he had a coldness in his voice as he spoke.
I was a noble. I'm not a noble anymore.
Not anymore?
I was the third son of the Demon Lord. My brothers and I lived together in the castle as nobility. But since James was the oldest, James became royalty and was heir to the throne. The whole situation became one gigantic, boring mess. So we all grouped together and left to come here. Once that happened, we surely lost the chance to ever get forgiveness.
Oh. What was it like while you were there?
Like I said, one gigantic, boring mess. Eric, Matthew, and I were as replacements in case James fucked up. Since Eric was before me and since my dad was a dickbag, I wasn't ever likely to get the throne. So I spent my days lazying about and not giving two shits about anything. Not even my mom could control me.
Your mom?
Yeah, she's not like my asshole of a dad. She was actually caring and kind, but was a pushover.
Sam let out a small laugh. I could tell he was getting nostalgic.
She always thought I could be more than I was, but my dad definitely made sure I knew my place. In response, I became the rebel son, hanging out with the commoner demons and such just to piss my dad off. I swear, I'm surprised he didn't kill me out of shame.
That's horrible! Sam stared at me as if I had slapped at him. He then sighed and ruffled my hair a bit.
Don't even worry about it. You need rest. You don't need to know about the demon world.
But I want to know more about you. Sam stared at me once again as if I had slapped him. I couldn't tell whether I was pissing him off or intriguing him. He let his hand that was ruffling my hair fall down the strands of my hair, stopping at my cheek to cradle it. For a strong man, Sam knew how to be soft. Sam let out a sigh before unlinking his dog tag from his necklace and putting it around mine.
I'm warning you, my past is boring.
Oh, he's gonna show him, like, why are you giving us your dog tag? Sam wrapped his fingers gingerly around the dog tag, and I watched it as green mist began to surround my hand and the dog tag. The green aura wrapped around the neck until it snaked around my head, and before I knew it, I was surrounded in green light. You know what that means. Let's go! When the light had subsided, I was back in the main hall of the demon castle. I looked around, feeling unable to move, but I could practically see everything as clear as I had before.
Bring that back!
My head shot towards the sudden exclamation where I saw Sam rush into the hall with a quite large basket of bread.
No chance in hell, creepo!
Sam then did what I only saw in TV shows. He stomped his foot into the ground, causing a large boulder to burst out from it before he kicked it toward the entrance he had came from. I could only stare as the boulder didn't demolish the door it was flying towards, but simply skidded to a stop, blocking the entrance.
That was easy.
Sam then turned into the hall, looking around as he walked towards the throne. He took a small roll of bread and stuffed it into his mouth, only able to cover half of it as he stared at the seat. I was surprised. Why did Sam steal bread? Why would he steal bread? He was a rebel, yes, but he was a noble. He wouldn't get in trouble for taking food, but he had a basket of bread. Sam chewed and swallowed the bread he started consuming inside.
Fucking asshole piece of shit parent.
Gee.
At least you have your faults.
Gaku. Hey. Why does he look like that one character from Supernatural? I don't know his name because I don't watch the show. I don't fucking know. I turned to see another demon step out from behind a pillar towards Sam. Sam smirked and tossed him the basket of bread.
Think that's enough for you and your brother?
More than enough. This means a lot, man.
Don't mention it, Gaku.
Gaku smiled and held out a hand to Sam, who took it and shook it.
We owe you for this.
You don't owe me jack shit. Now get going before you get caught.
Gaku nodded. However, Gaku quickly got out a dog tag from his trench coat and held it out for Sam. Sam stared before reaching out and taking it.
What is this?
A gift. A human world trinket. I know you and your brothers have been interested in it. Maybe this might bring you closer to it.
Sam stared before looking down at the gift. It was glimmering silver, almost entrancing Sam's gaze. As Sam looked back up, Gaku lifted off of the ground and flew out of an open window into the almost sickly purple sky.
The human world.
Sam looked down at the trinket before wrapping it in green magic.
Like I can get any closer.
Sam tossed the trinket into the air, letting it vanish into an unknown oblivion. I smiled a bit at the sight, knowing the future of that point. What surprised me was a green orb slowly floating towards Sam, wrapped in a purple-like aura. Sam didn't even turn around, but spoke as if he knew.
What do you want, Mom?
Mom? How is that orb his mother? The orb simply floated in place as Sam turned to it with an almost angry glare.
Yes, I stole that bread and gave it to the commoner, all right? Don't judge me.
Once again, Sam was not responded to, at least not from what I heard. Sam clicked his teeth and crossed his arms, peeved.
Yeah, whatever.
The orb then floated over to Sam, lightly brushed his cheek before flying off, disappearing into the air. Sam sighed, rolling his shoulders.
I need to get out of here.
He looked like he had a lot on his mind, but his closed mouth wouldn't let him express it. However, none would question his irritation. Eventually, Sam stopped the magic, taking the dog tag off of me and holding it in his hands before looking to me.
What did I tell you? Boring.
You helped that demon get food.
I was a rebel breaking rules. We're not supposed to care for common demons. We're supposed to let them die out if they don't have the ability to take care of themselves.
Sam gritted his teeth and let out an aggravated sigh.
Whatever. I'm not there anymore. I'm here.
Sam.
Look, I'm sorry.
I stared, my mind going blank. What was he apologizing for? Sam stared down at the blankets again.
You've done a lot for me and my brothers. Sheltering us, letting us continue to live. It may not seem like much, but for us, it means everything. Especially after everything that's happened to you with that hellspawn Malix and Diana being crazy. I don't think we'll ever be able to repay you for what you've done.
I watched in speechless silence as Sam lifted his head, his eyes almost full of hopelessness.
Thank you.
Sam lowered his head and gently, as if I was fragile, placed his hand over my hand. I couldn't help but feel my heart squeeze within my chest at the sight. He truly cared. Sam let out a small sigh before looking at me, removing his hand from mine.
Now get some sleep. You still need rest. We'll wake you up when dinner is done.
Sam gently pressed me back down onto the bed, resolved in what had happened. Not without a kiss! Smoochy, smoochy. I couldn't let him leave without doing something. I quickly pulled Sam down to me, lifted my head, and gently kissed him, softly laying a hand on his cheek to keep his face close. Sam stared in deep surprise before hesitantly kissing me back, caressing my cheek and slightly melting at the touch of our lips. A soft sigh escaped his lips before he slowly pulled away with a smile. He gently licked his lips, making me go red in the face at the simple gesture. He let out a satisfied sigh before running a hand through my hair.
Sleep, doofus.
Aw, he really likes me. He called me doofus. And with that, he stood up and left the room, leaving me to rest as per his request. I smiled to myself before relaxing into the mattress. You know, I knew he would do something like that, like call me goofy insults or whatever. Oh well. Ugh. I suddenly tensed up. I felt majorly uneasy. Something wasn't right. I felt it in my core. She must be here. The thought of her in the house infuriated me beyond belief. I had to make sure she was not here. I rolled out of bed and quickly left my room, wandering the halls and listening closely. She was a demon, but I was listening very intently. There was no way she would have been able to sneak up on me. Ugh, gosh. I know you're here. Where are you? I could feel myself growl. It wasn't a matter of fear that she'd taken away the boys anymore. Her very existence had lit a fire of rage within my gut, which only grew as each day went by. This feud was getting on my nerves, and I knew it would not end well for one of us. I wasn't gonna lose to that demon bitch.
What the fuck do you want?
My heart stopped. Diana was with Sam. My mind flew into slow motion, playing fake images of Diana trying to seduce Sam in my head to further fan the angry flame inside of me. I instinctively followed Sam's voice. I was approaching the grand lobby. I hid myself behind the corner of the hall, peeking into the space and down at the scene. I peeked inside to see Sam by the foot of the stairs with Diana sitting at the railing looking to him.
My, such a brute. Didn't your mother teach you how to treat a woman?
She isn't here, and frankly, you shouldn't be either.
Ah, I'm hurt. Wounded, truly.
Like I care, you crazy bitch.
Pity. And here I thought I was going to offer you the chance to become something better than just a simple incubus.
What was Diana going on about? More than just an incubus? Ugh, she was insane.
Like you got anything I care about.
How about becoming the next demon lord?
I froze. What did she mean, becoming the next demon lord? The boys weren't in the demon world anymore. They had no claim to the throne anymore. Sam stared at Diana, which made me worried.
You're bluffing.
Well, currently, I'm the contracted bride to the heir to the throne. Since the throne is open, it's available to any son of the demon lord's line. Think about it. You'll gain the throne, the land, and a bride to continue your lineage with. Doesn't that sound like a perfect life for an incubus like you?
I could feel myself gripping my fist tightly in anger. How dare this girl try to convince Sam to return to the demon world? He ran away from it. He didn't have to go back. He shouldn't go back. My mind began to wander, imagining him saying yes. He would leave and the brothers would follow to bring him back. They'd be trapped because Diana would make sure that they could never leave. Sam would be the new demon lord with Diana as his queen, and I'd lose him.
You must be crazier than I thought.
What?
I felt surprise run down my body again. Did I hear Sam correctly? He denied her?
You dare deny?
All of a sudden, Sam's body disappeared as well as Diana's. I blinked and saw Sam grip Diana by the neck, pinning her body to the wall near the dining room archway. Her feet couldn't even touch the floor, and I felt myself unconsciously rub my neck at the sight.
For once in your life, shut your fucking mouth!
I could see Sam's muscles tense and flex at holding Diana, wanting to tense even harder to snap her neck.
You do not scare me. I could bring you to your knees and make you beg to return with me on a chain leash.
Kinky.
And do it! I want to see you try to chain me.
Kinky! Sam glared as Diana stared almost in fear of him. I expected her to actually do it. However, after a small breath of a moment, Sam smirked.
Called it.
Sam then released Diana, letting her body fall to the floor. Diana gripped her neck, coughing for air, as Sam stepped back, glaring at her.
You're out of power. You've been running without recharging, and now you're on your last life.
Shut up!
Diana glared and stood up, flipping her hair back to its almost unnaturally sexy style.
What's stopping me from taking your little human's energy?
You go anywhere near her again, and I will rip you apart.
The human girl? You must be joking. A human like her can't possibly provide you what you need. She's a human. You're a demon.
I felt the urge to storm in and shut her mouth. It would give away my position, but I was growing extremely tired of Diana. Well, you know what to do. Barge in and set her straight. I decided to be assertive and quickly stepped into the room, rushing down the steps to be in front of Sam. Diana and Sam looked at me in surprise as I glared daggers at Diana. Get out.
Well, well, little human. You're awfully nosy in business that doesn't concern you.
It does concern me.
Does it? I don't think a human would understand the importance of this affair.
You're asking him to leave to be someone he doesn't want to be. That's not gonna happen.
Oh? And what makes you so sure about that?
He doesn't like you. No, I love him. Diana stared in shock at my exclamation. Was it not what she expected? I didn't care what she expected. I wasn't gonna lose the man I had grown to love.
You love him?
Yes, I love him. Diana's lips twitched, the edges curling into an amused smirk as she stared at me.
So what? A human's love isn't enough to understand the situation. A demon can never reciprocate human feeling.
To both of our surprise, however, Sam stepped forward and put an arm around me, pulling me close to his body.
I love her.
Oh, shit. I saw the confidence Diana had shatter in her eyes as she stared at Sam at his words. I could see the struggle in her face to try and find some weakness in Sam, in me, in anything.
A demon love a human? Impossible.
Are you deaf? I said I love her. You don't have the brains to understand what love is. It's not just a human emotion. Demons like us can feel it too. You just have your head so far up your ass that you refuse to see it. Just like how you refuse to see that you've lost.
Oh, damn. Diana took a step back, physically feeling the sting of Sam's words in her chest. She had lost. I could see it in her eyes. Diana's eyes grew dull as she glared at me and Sam. It seemed almost uncharacteristic of her, yet it was something I wasn't surprised to see come from her face.
Very well. Fine. Valet.
Bye! And with that, Diana faded into the ground into a purple pentagram, crossing her arms and looking almost upset. I'm gonna end this episode off here. I know, bit of a cliffhanger, again. I'm sorry. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Share with your friends if they like, choking bitches out. Don't know why that was the first thing that popped into my head, but whatever. Bye-bye!